Part 0. Introduction. Hello, we are Alpinion Medical System. Welcome to our eCube user tutorial video. This video will help you understand your system more easily. Part 1. System Overview. Before getting started to operate our system, let me show you our key configuration of control panel and the keyboard. Our control panel is designed for easy and quick workflow with well-organized functional zones. First, on the upper left corner, the basic exam keys such as patient, transducer, and report are arranged together in a row. Above this exam key group, we have 3 customizable user keys to configure the frequently used functions on them. The enabled user keys will be lit with white backlight. Along the upper side of Control Panel, we have 5 rotary keys to control any imaging parameters or functions in each imaging mode. Just below these rotary keys, we have Imaging Mode Zone, and each Imaging Mode button is able to function as its gain control. Around a trackball, you will find many buttons such as Cursor, Body Pattern, Text, Update, Measure, Priority, and Set button. Update key is used to reactivate 2D mode and pause a Doppler image when using a triplex mode. On the bottom right side, you will find the most frequently used buttons, Depth, Focus, and Zoom rotary keys, as well as 3 peripheral buttons to save the image and print it out. Lastly, here's a keyboard which allows to not only input text manually, but also assign various functions to the numerical keys from 0 to 9 for a shortcut operation. Part 2. Transducer and Foot Switch. You can connect your probe on the right side of your system. To connect your probe, you will insert the probe into one of your probe ports and lock up by pressing up on the lever. And to disconnect the probe, first I want you to make sure that you press the freeze key before disconnecting, and you can depress the lever to unlock and pull the probe out of the connector. An additional item that can be connected to your unit is the foot switch. To assign each foot switch function, I will go to the System preset, User Setting, and Print Foot Switch menu. In this foot switch menu, each foot pedal can be configured for different functions as you prefer. Once it's completed, I'll click the Save and Exit. For example, while you are scanning with all your hands busy, once you press the left pedal, the image will be frozen, and by pressing the middle pedal, it will be stored as a still cut. Part 3. Patient Registration. To register the patient information before exam, press the Patient button. On the patient screen, you can enter the patient ID and other information. Once you complete entering all information, you can click the Save and Exit button on the screen. Then your scan mode will be displayed on the screen. In case that you didn't register the patient ID on each exam, once you try to save the images by pressing P1, the message will pop up and require you to assign the patient ID. As I click Auto Generation, finally it allows you to save the images with automatically generated ID. Part 4. Select Probe and Preset. To select a transducer and exam type, you will press a transducer button. This brings up the exam type with the different activated probes, their applications, and image presets. For example, if you'd like to do a carotid exam with the linear probe, I will select this L3 to 12T probe, vascular application, and carotid preset. Since it takes 3 steps to select each different preset, our eCube offers a shortcut workflow named Power Preset on our touchscreen. To configure your Power Preset menu, first you will go to the System preset on the keyboard. In the User Setting, you will go to the User-Defined key and select Power Preset. Here you can assign the frequently used presets into the 5 preset menu. For example, L3 to 12T probe and nerve preset, and click on Save and Exit to save and go out of the screen. On the right side of your touchscreen, your configured presets will be displayed with each probe illustration and preset name. Part 5. Basic B-mode controls: gain, depth, focus. We have 3 basic scanning parameters to adjust while scanning in the B-mode. First one is overall gain. To adjust the overall B-mode gain, you can use your 2D rotary key by rotating clockwise to increase or counterclockwise to decrease the gain. Next, I am going to adjust the depth of image area. Here we have a depth rotary key. By rotating the depth rotary key, you can go deeper or shallower in your image area. The depth information is indicated on the left side of the image in centimeters. The third basic one is focal position, which is used to highlight a certain area to have the highest resolution. As you move the focal position up or down, you will see this triangle icon move up and down, and the image resolution is improved in the selected area. You can also use the multiple focal zones for a better image. To increase the number of focus, you can press the focus key and rotate it to increase the focus number. And by pressing it one more time, you can move the focal position again. You should notice that the more number of focus can cause the frame rate to be lower. Part 6. Zoom, read, write. If you need to magnify the region of your interest, you can use 2 types of zoom mode: read zoom and write zoom. At first, by rotating the zoom rotary key, you can simply magnify the whole image with no image improvement. This is called read zoom. By scrolling your trackball, you can move your ROI on the center of the screen while watching the location of the area in the upper left corner. On the other hand, the right zoom can magnify the selected zoom area with more line density. Once you press the zoom button, the green box comes out on the screen. After locating the zoom box on your ROI, with a set button, you will adjust the size of zoom box. After you are done with it, press the zoom key once more. Then your zoom area will be displayed with a magnified image in a good image resolution. If your right zoom image is not large enough, you can rotate the zoom key again to make the image bigger on the screen. Part 7. 2D optimization. Now I will look over the basic imaging parameters that are commonly adjustable while you are imaging. Frequency. The first thing you can adjust is frequency. Adjusting the frequency allows you to increase penetration at the expense of resolution, or increase resolution at the expense of penetration. Our system offers around 5 center frequency in fundamental and harmonic modes. So depending on your exam type and patient case, you can adjust your frequency as you want. Dynamic range. Dynamic range allows you to decide how many shades of gray are displayed. As you increase your DR, you'll see more shades of gray and an overall smoother image. And as decreasing the DR, the narrow dynamic range will display with a higher contrast. Gray map. Gray map is the various combination of each different level of grays, gain, and contrast. You can select one of gray maps depending on your image preference. Part 8. Save the preset. If you made some adjustments and found your desired image setting, you can save your modified preset just by pressing the F7 key on your keyboard. Once the window pops up on your screen, select the application where you put your preset and just write down your new preset name and save it. Part 9. XPEED, Image Optimization. XPEED is the function that provides automatic image optimization with one touch of the button. In a not proper setting, with pressing XPEED button on 2D mode, some 2D parameters will be adjusted automatically to get a nicer image. On the triplex mode, if your Doppler is displayed with aliasing artifact, once you press the XPEED button, your Doppler spectrum will be optimized automatically with parameters such as PRF, gain, and baseline adjusted step by step. Part 10. Color Flow Mode. Color Flow Mode is the imaging mode that depicts the velocity and direction of blood flow in a color map. Once pressing your Color Flow button, you can see the color box appear. To adjust the size of color box, press Set key and modify the size of it, and press Set key again to fix this size. By using your trackball, you can locate your box on the region of interest. The very big wider box can cause the lower frame rate. As you rotate your CF mode button clockwise, your color gain is increased, and rotate in opposite direction, the color gain is decreased. In case of linear probe, you can also steer the color box according to the flow direction of each vessel. By rotating this angle rotary key, you can make it steer to the right or left direction and adjust the steering angle of it. In the color flow mode, it is very important to set a proper velocity scale depending on the velocity of examined vessels. To adjust the velocity scale of color flow, you can use a second rotary knob labeled PRF. As you increase or decrease this PRF, you will see the velocity written above the color map is changed right here. And if your set maximum scale is too low, then the average velocity of the flow, aliasing artifact of color flow, will occur. So you may have to increase your PRF up to the average velocity of your examined vessel. Part 11. Power Doppler Mode. Power Doppler mode is another Doppler mode that has more sensitivity than the conventional color Doppler for detection of flow and is particularly useful for small vessels. And our DPDI mode stands for Directional Power Doppler Imaging mode that combines two advantages of both Doppler by providing the directional information of flow with higher sensitivity. Once you press the PD button here, you can activate Power Doppler mode. With your Set button, you can change the box size to cover your ROI and move it with your trackball. By rotating the Color Flow button in the same way, the overall power Doppler gain will be adjusted. As you click a DPDI button on your touchscreen, you can activate this Directional Power Doppler mode. Then the single color of Power Doppler is changed to the two complementary colors indicating each different direction. Part 12. Pulsed Wave Mode. Pulsed wave Doppler allows us to accurately measure the velocity of blood in a precise location and in real time. Once you acquire the proper vascular image in the color mode, press PW button to activate the pulsed wave mode. PW spectral gain is also adjusted by using the PW rotary key. In case that you miss a Doppler signal, by pressing the Update key, you can update the 2D color mode to relocalize the PW gate while your Doppler spectrum is in pause. Once you correct your PW gate and press Update key, this optimal spectrum will be displayed again. In case that your examined blood velocity is too high over the program velocity scale in Doppler, aliasing artifact can occur and the peak spectrum will be displayed on the opposite side to the real direction of flow. In this case, you should adjust the PRF parameter to increase the maximum velocity scale in your spectrum. Also, you can adjust your baseline with this fourth rotary key as well. In this way, you will be able to get rid of an aliasing artifact in PW spectrum. Part 13. Auto Calculation. In PW mode, AutoCalc function allows us to automatically calculate and display a variety of measured values, such as peak velocities, ratios, and heart rates. If you'd like to use AutoCalc function on the frozen image, when you acquire the optimal spectrum, press Freeze button. Then the auto calculation is activated with the blue line over the spectrum. If your system is set as a frozen status on your AutoCalc menu, as selected in your system preset, the measurement values will be displayed in the result window. If you'd like to make it activated in real time, you'd better select the Live status on your AutoCalc menu. Then the result values will be continuously updated by the automatically chosen cycle. Part 14. Basic Measurement. After obtaining the image, if you'd like to simply measure the distance, first press Freeze button and press Measure nearby your trackball. Then place your caliper on the start point with your Set button and drag it. And at the end point, press Set again to fix it. The measured value will be shown in the result window. To perform the other basic measurements, you can click on one of the measurements from the basic folder on your touchscreen. Part 15. Labeled Measurement. Volume Flow. In case of the labeled measurement, you can click on the measurement folder and item as you need on the touchscreen. For example, I will show you how to measure the volume flow on our system. After I acquired the carotid image with Doppler spectrum, I will press the Measure button and move my cursor to the 2D image. Then I will select the CCA folder and volume flow area on the touchscreen. Now I can measure the CCA diameter to calculate the cross-sectional area at first. Then I will move my cursor to the spectrum part and select CCA folder again. Then you will see the Auto Trace automatically activated with blue trace line over the spectrum. And with using your trackball, move a green vertical line at the right side of spectrum to adjust the end cycle and press Set key to fix it. Then the calculated volume flow is displayed in my result window. If you'd like to readjust the front line at the left side of spectrum, press the priority key to activate the left line and readjust the first cycle and press Set key again to get the result. Secondly, there is another way to obtain the Doppler measurement, which is semi-auto trace. Once I click the semi-auto trace on my touchscreen, I can choose the cycle of spectrum as I want by placing it on the start point and end point with Set key. As you know, there are two ways to measure the time average velocity, TA max and TA mean velocity. To select one of the methods, you can go to the System preset, Measurement, and Advanced Measurement. Here you can choose your desired method between TA max and TA mean velocity. Part 16. Annotation. Text and body marker. In case that you need to add any annotation on your image, you can activate text or body marker key by pressing one of these buttons. Once you press Text button, you will see the annotation list of each preset on the left side. With using your trackball and Set button, choose any annotation from the list and locate it on the image. You can also type any text you want using your keyboard. If you'd like to change the annotation list or application, here we have fifth rotary key to select any application and library folder. In order to delete the unwanted text, locate your cursor on that text, and if the text is activated with green color, press the last delete on the touchscreen. Part 17. Save the still Cine image. In our default setup of the system, 3 peripheral keys are assigned for each different function to save the image or print it out. Our P1 button in the bottom is usually programmed to print out and capture the still image at the same time. And for the rest of peripheral keys, first to save the still image in a DICOM format after I acquire the image, and press the freeze key. Now you can use your trackball to scroll through the previous images you've scanned. Once you find the desired image, press the P2 button, which is already set to save the still image in DICOM. We have 2 ways to store the CineClip using our P3 button, which are prospective and retrospective way. For a prospective way, without pressing the freeze key, just press the P3 button to store the Cine forward while you keep scanning. After the storage is done, you will notice that the thumbnail appears with a video icon. To change the way of CineLoop store, I will go to the image preset, and here I can change it to retrospective way and Cine duration like this. Secondly, for retrospective way, As you press P3 button, your previous scanned images will be stored very quickly for a certain amount of time, for example, 5 or 10 seconds. Part 18. eView. Before you end your exam, if you'd like to review all of the stored images, you can go to the eView page by pressing this eView key on your control panel. This will bring up the image view displaying your stored images in 2:1 layout. To change the layout of display, you can use your third rotary key to find the layout you prefer. As you rotate the fifth rotary key labeled the Image page, you can look over all of the images in sequence, and after selecting the undesired or duplicated images, and delete them. Part 19. Backup and Send to. When it comes to the way to export the images, we have two methods for different purposes. First, I will insert my USB stick into the side of my touchscreen. I will go to the eView page and the list view. Double-click the patient ID that I want to export, and double-click the exam again. For the first way to export the images into the JPEG or AVI format, if you'd like to export all of the images, you can click Select All, or to exclude all of them, click on Select Inverse. Now I will select just some of the images I need to save in my USB device, and click the Send To button on the left side of the screen. Then it will bring up this window. First, I can choose my storage device such as CD, DVD, or USB. USB, HDD is already chosen, and my device is activated at the moment. By pressing this folder icon, you can create a new folder and also edit the file name as well. Depending on your exam type, you can select or unselect the related options. If everything is done, press Save and you will be able to see how much the exporting is going on in the DICOM spooler and backup page. The second way to back up the study is used for importing the same study into the other eCube system. To do this, also you go to the eView and List View page. In our study list, select the study and double-click to check out the study you'll export. Click the Backup button. Once the information window appears, you can select your device and write down the comment about this study to figure out what this study is about. This job can be confirmed in DICOM spooler page as well. Part 20. Review the old study. In case that you'd like to review the old study stored in your hard drive in order to compare or perform any post-measurement, you can go to the eView page. In the list view, here's a list of every study stored in your hard drive. To review an old study in this eView screen, I will double-click the patient ID and double-click the study again. Then the stored images are displayed in the layout as you select. If you'd like to see these images in the scan mode to perform the post-processing, double-click the desired image and double-click that image again. Now your chosen image will be displayed in the scan mode. You can perform the post-processing or post-measurement on the stored image. And if you save it with the new measurement, it will be added in this previous study. Part 21. Post-processing. Post-processing refers to ultrasound adjustments that can be made after the image has been acquired when a study is finalized. Our post-processing options include not only primary adjustments, such as gain, TGC, and DR, but also more image parameters like gray map, colorize, and edge enhancement, so on. Also, if you'd like to measure on the recalled image, you can make a post measurement on that image and save it again with the new measurement.